See toys? Looky there. Looky at the toys. Oh, you're gonna knock down. Oh.
I love having rabbits. I grew up with dogs and rabbits, and we've had a cat in the past, but I adore rabbits. They're very, very quiet. They're extremely affectionate. You don't have to walk them, and they're just nice little things to have around. They communicate very, very well. They're cute, cuddly, everything you want in a pet.
I think rabbits are actually capturing more attention with people. I think they are on the uprise for, I want to say adopting. I hate to think people are going to the pet store. They're inquisitive. They have such a great personality. They are friendly. Some of them like to be held, like to lay on your lap, like to sit on the couch with you. Others are just very aloof and they want to be out to play. And if you have proper toys, you know, for the rabbit, they can entertain themselves for long periods of time.
They don't meow and they don't bark and they don't smell. And the only thing that smells really is the food we give them, the broccoli and the pellets and all that stuff. They preen themselves like cats. They're very clean as far as their bodies are concerned.
I've had all kinds of animals my whole life, and dogs, cats, and rabbits. When I got rabbits, I just thought there's no going back to any other kind of animal. That the best of both animals. They are fun and loving and happy like dogs, but they don't make noise like barking, and you don't have to take them out all the time. They're not as aloof as cats, although they are more like cats as far as a pet living in your house. They can be litter trained. They bathe themselves or clean themselves. You do have to brush them and take care of them, clip their toenails. But I just thought that they were the best of both animals, a combination of the dog and the cat. And they're a lot more fun to watch, and they're so precious. Everyone who comes over just is amazed. You have bunnies and they live in your house? They're just amazed by that instead of having them live in a cage. And my response is, whoever said that a dog has to live in the backyard, a cat has to live inside your home, and a bunny has to live in a hutch in the backyard, in a cage. That's the way most of them live, unfortunately, but that's not the way they have to. There are a lot of house dogs, and there are more and more house rabbits. You wouldn't believe how it's just exploding.
But I guess the real reason we ended up with rabbits is my husband is allergic to dogs, and one of our daughters is very allergic to cats, and so we wanted a pet that we could cuddle and love. We're not into snakes and fish, so we decided to get a little bunny.
Buster was at a garage sale, and I went over to tell this lady about the House Rabbit Society, and she said he was for sale. So I wanted to rescue him, so I bought him for $5 and I brought him home. Well, I had him for 5 wonderful years, and he lived in the house with me. And then when he passed away, I was really sad. And one day, about a month afterwards, I went to the Humane Society just to be around animals. I didn't plan on adopting anyone. Well, it turns out that this trio was there, and they'd been there for a while, and there was a rumor that they were going to have to split them up in order to get them adopted because no one was going to take all 3. It's a ready-made family. I thought, I'll take them, no problem. No problem. So I brought them home, and there's a big difference between having 1 bunny and having 3 bunnies. But it's not a bad difference. The difference is it's a little more work and a little more food. It's a lot more fun because they interact with each other and they play with each other. I mean, it's just hysterical all the time. My bunnies live in the kitchen, and I do slide a cardboard as a doorway to keep them in there overnight and when I'm gone, just in case, so that they aren't running around the whole house. But I let them out whenever possible, and they just seem to enjoy a change of scenery. They love being in the kitchen, and that's their home, and that's where their food and their treats and their toys are. But you wouldn't believe how often they come into the living room, and it's not to tear up the furniture, it's not to get into any trouble. They just want a change of scenery. And they just come into another room, and they'll sit down on a carpet or a rug, and they'll just sit there and relax and rest, just like people want to get out of one room and go into another one. Psychologically, I think my bunnies know that they're free. There's no cage, and when I open up the kitchen door. They come out into the living room. They just want to know that they can go where they want and that they're not being caged up. I think maybe because they lived in a cage, that they just feel better knowing that they're free. And I like that idea. And that's why I like bunnies being in a house instead of outside. They're free. And a lot of times they will come into a room that I'm in, and I think it's just because they want to be around me or around human beings because they interact. They're so sociable.
I would say a roomy cage for a medium-sized rabbit is probably about a 2 by 3 foot cage. Rabbits should not be caged all the time, though. They need to come out and exercise. They need to exercise and socialize for social reasons and also for health reasons. They need to exercise to keep their digestive system moving and to keep their weight down and all of that. Bunny people have all sorts of strange arrangements. You'll notice that almost every room in my house has a gate on it, and oftentimes I've tacked little strips of pine board around the baseboard because they would prefer to eat something that's jutting out, and I'd rather have them eat plain pine than painted molding.
These are house rabbits, and they live in this room. When we brought Rocky home on the night we bought him, we watched him just go very methodically around the baseboards and scent the baseboards and mark his territory, and he very rarely leaves this room. When we first got Usagi, he used to venture out into other parts of the house, into our kitchen, living room, dining room, but he stopped doing that, and they basically stay in this room. We have a little powder room close by, and at first Rocky used to come in there every morning with me when I put my makeup on.
Rabbits by nature are very curious and intelligent creatures, and they become very bored being in a cage without any toys and activity.
I myself don't like putting anyone in a cage. I've seen how much they enjoy being out and moving from one spot to another, or at least having that option. So I prefer to pen them off in a bunny-proof room. Obviously, my older guys don't get around quite so much. But there are other ways to go, too. Rather than having a cage, you can do a puppy exercise pen, or you can make a built-in pen. And even if you have like a carpeted floor where they do tend to pull carpeting out, you could put a scrap of vinyl flooring down, put the pen up on top of that, and that gives them a little more room.
It's so important to find a vet that doesn't just do dogs and cats. Just basically because there are special needs that come up with the rabbits that you don't see in a dog or cat.
The best intentioned vets who just aren't experienced with rabbits may be transferring canine and feline medicine and treatment to rabbits, and a lot of times it can actually kill them.
And I stumbled across Diane Bennett's, and when she matched my folder's worth of stuff with a stack of her own higher than mine, I thought, oh, okay. And she asked to borrow my stuff. She didn't know about the House Rabbit Society. I thought, okay, she's the one.
So many people go out at Easter time and will buy one at a pet store and give it to a 2 or 3 or 4-year-old child. Not only do they lose interest, they have no concept in how to care for it.
They just want to know what's going on. They have to be involved with everybody and everything. They have to be in the same room as you, and they have to get your attention. They're just very inquisitive, very nosy and funny. They're just hysterical. They're the best animal. Once you have a bunny, you can never go back.
I think they're magical. I think that not their feet have charm, but their whole selves have charm. They are just bunny magic.